Hello, everybody. This is Brandon from Galaxy Doc Market. Welcome, members, and those of you following me on X and YouTube. Welcome to the most hated bull market ever on this weekly look ahead video. Today is May 9th, 2026. It's about 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as I bring you this video. All right, we have a lot to cover, so let's move right on into it. On this most hated bull market, are you taking advantage of this most hated bull market? Or are you shorting the market and getting your butt creamed? All right, here's the disclaimer. Pause it, read it. If you are following me on X and YouTube, if you agree, please move forward. And thank you so much for following me on x.com/galaxydocmarket. Like and subscribe and comment on YouTube. Thank you. All right, so last week I had this video on a couple weeks ago, I think, and I said, hey, everybody's talking about this total collapse because the geopolitical news, what's going on politically, the division in the United States, and, the consumers being tapped out and layoffs happening left and right, AI threat of taking over your job. It's all real headlines, and it is happening. Gas prices at record highs because of the war in Iran, and everybody's scared. But I said we're going to be climbing the wall of worry because you got to trade the market that's given to you, not the market that you rationally think with your primitive brain. You have to start exercising your advanced brain, the evolved brain, not the primitive brain. Don't trade the market that you want, trade the market that you see. And we are climbing the wall of worry, and this is what's happening right now. So, it's not about the war in Iran. It's not about the World War III. It's not even about the not bubonic plague, but hantavirus, usually from squirrels. I think we saw that like 20 years ago, and of course, right on time as the Trump administration is about to has defunded the World Health Organization, which cannot exist without your taxpayer money, all of a sudden starts rolling out hantavirus. And there's evidence circulating that Pfizer and Moderna already has an mRNA vaccine in the works for hantavirus. Doesn't viral vaccines or any type of vaccines, to my knowledge as a physician here, take years, 10 years for FDA approval? How in the heck do they even know that a hantavirus was going to be a thing? Think about it before you buy into this mainstream media BS. There's an agenda here. I'm not quite sure what it is, but do not be alarmed. You trade the markets that you have, okay? It's a war, not just Iran. It's a war with the scare tactics, okay? Because they saw how you reacted during the COVID era. They're going to see if you're going to comply this time around. Hantavirus is not human-to-human transmission. Just remember that. It's not a respiratory virus. If you get bit by a rodent, a squirrel, with hantavirus, if you've been out in the Rocky Mountains and in my area, neck of the woods in Flagstaff, and you get bit by a squirrel, maybe that's an issue. Just look at the pictures that they are posting online to scare you. They're wearing painter's mask. Okay? If this was truly a respiratory virus issue, they would be on N99. They'd be on a complete respirator issues. Okay? This is a psyop, folks. And they want you to be scared. They want you to sell your stocks, sell your cryptos, sell your gold and silver in fear. Okay? We're not going to be doing that. You trade the markets that's ahead of you. We are climbing the wall of worry. Okay? And when I talk about war, it's not just about Iran. It's about everything in an effort to control you, to scare you, okay, into making irrational, primitive brain decisions. And one of those primitive brain decisions is on cryptos. Namely, I love XRP in this channel. I love this XRP, okay? And because this is going to be the new financial rails, but they want to scare you out. They want to tire you out. They want to frustrate you out of the system. Money system is changing, and it's happening right now. They want you to be distracted about the hantavirus. They want you to be distracted about the Iranian war going on. They want you to be distracted about the Democrats and Rhino Republicans complaining about Trump being a king. Yet, a few weeks ago, we celebrated a king from England. You see how they applauded the king after they have no king's protest? Bunch of hypocrites, bunch of installed BS artists that are trying to control your mind share in the level of fear, and they want you to be compliant. They don't want you in XRP. They want you to own nothing and be happy about it. They want universal basic income. They want you to take these vaccines that are going to impair your quality of living so that the Pfizers and Modernas and all the pharmaceutical medical complexes, believe me, I know, think about my background, where I come from. They want you not to be cured or healthy. They want you to continue to be on medications, and they want you basically to be controlled, because if you're sick, if you're scared, if you're on benzos because you're scared, if you're on antidepressants, if you're confused about your gender, if you're angry about the economy instead of taking responsibility for yourself and accountability and digging yourself out of it, they want you to be dependent on the system. And this is what the issue is, okay? They don't want you in XRP. They don't want you in gold, okay? They want you to be continuing to short the market as they pump this market higher, so that at a certain level, they're going to drop the market from underneath you, laughing all the way to the bank. But for now, they are enjoying the show of the countless frustrated small hedge funds, prop firms, retail traders, just getting creamed in this market because they are incredulous. Remember, the markets can stay far longer irrational than you can remain solvent. And that's the case right now. And a lot of people are going, saying things. If you go to X, there's tons of these examples. I'm not even going to, give that credence. People are saying, this is it. I'm going all in. I'm fighting this market, blah, blah, blah. Well, you fight the market and you fight the trend, and you fight with your primitive brain, you're going to end up dead, blown up, oblivion. Okay, folks? You trade the market that you have, and you buy things when they're cheap. You buy things when they want you out of it. You buy things that there is the most amount of negative noise or fear, because that is usually the market capitulation bottom. Don't be these guys lining up when XRP eventually hits $1,000. And it will. Not today, not tomorrow, but soon. Okay? So coming this week, the most hated bull market in history, maybe, we are climbing the wall of worry. So let's talk about how we are climbing that wall of worry and what the technicals say. So let's look at a bunch of charts, look at the macroeconomic pictures, and then we'll move forward. Okay? Well, the McClellan Summation Index is signaling that the market has topped and it should be rolling over. It's just simply not. And we'll talk about why that is. But it doesn't mean that, I don't consider the fact that this is the most ridiculous and irrational market in the world. I just trade where the money goes, where the big boys are positioned. I trade the market that is given to me, not what I want. If I think with my primitive brain, from what my eyes see currently, yes, McClellan Summation Index is warning about a significant market crash, and it will come. It's just not today. It may be tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe a week from now, but we're going to follow the trend and what the options market is doing. Options market is right now driving this insane stock market action. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no technicals that you can apply to this. There are no such thing as fundamentals. If you trade based on fundamentals, you're getting creamed left and right at this point. But yet, my favorite directional indicator, McClellan Summation Index, has gotten into this volatility box. We talked about this, and I said it's going to get above this 200 and then start breaking down. If it does, the market should follow, but it has not. But it's an awareness thing, because if you look at the MACD, it's death cross rolling over. We got a negative divergence on the RSI. We are breaking below this area, volatility area. Now we're looking to get into the secondary area, and the markets may continue to go higher because of the fact that we have a lot of options activity at historical levels, okay, and that drives the gamma exposure. And gamma is where you need to be at this point. And we'll go over that in a few seconds. But we do have an awareness, right? We are climbing the wall of worry. This is the most hated bull market in the world because you're looking at the wrong indicators like this McClellan Summation Index. It will come into play. But right now, it's just an awareness thing. I know we are at all-time highs where blue skies break out, and this is the most hated bull market, and you trade where the market makers take you. Okay, you don't trade where your mind tells you it should be. Okay, or some of these outdated right now. For now, it's outdated. These indicators are outdated because it doesn't work. It doesn't mean it'll stay outdated forever. It's an awareness thing. Okay, we have understanding that the market is basically manipulated higher using the options and derivatives market. Yes, eventually it'll implode, and we'll be ready for that, but not until the big boys are ready. Okay, they're going to pump this up as high as it'll go. The sign that I'm looking for is when the general public, when the retail traders and the small hedge funds and private equities that are out there, the small home office traders, when they flip bullish, when they capitulate, and that is about the time that it will come down, but it's just not today. Just an awareness thing right now. So let's look at what's going on in SPY real quick, okay? And I'm going to try to keep this video short because I know I talk too much. But look, we broke out from this downtrend, okay? We bottomed right above here at the Bollinger Band, and now we are continuously pushing up on this Bollinger Band. And convention says that every time it hits that upper band of the Bollinger Band, it should pull back, and we have not. It is the gamma in the options market driving this action. We're going to at least get up to this area right here on the SPY. Okay, if you're a SPY trader, we talk a lot about lately on SPX because that is where a lot of the hedging and manipulation occurs, right? That's the granddaddy of all S&P 500. But can we see SPY at 755.28? Yeah, if they continue to do so. But if they decide to pull the market down, we're going to know about it. We've been effectively trading both sides of the market. But if you've been just completely blind, batshit, crazy short, you're getting your butt creamed at this point. Okay, what is the RSI telling us on SPY? It is bullish. We're basically moving higher. Okay, we're beginning to hit on the top end where we may start getting some over exuberant momentum levels, which is usually contrarian. RSI does not tell you overbought, oversold conditions. Okay, that information should come in the options market. Okay, you can't trade on price to volume anymore. You can't trade on price to volume order flow. You have to trade the gamma and the delta. Okay, see where they're hedging. Okay, so I believe SPY is going to go higher, but if it flips, it could flip on a dime. We'll be ready. Watch the options chain. Okay. This is the long-term chart. You haven't seen this in a while, right? We have clearly broken out. This is in the bull market territory. So we are going to be watching this like a hawk. Okay. Is this a new bull market? Well, it's the most hated bull market, right? And like I said, markets can remain irrational a lot longer than you can remain solvent. So you might as well go along with the trend. We correctly identified back in April of 2025 that we had an uptrend going, but we were looking for these breach of these uptrend lines as a potential area to short. We still view this area potentially as an area of reversal, especially at these nosebleed levels. The problem is that the market is hell-bent on going higher, and it's the new dynamics because of all of the zero-day options expiration, even some stocks like Tesla, Amazon, Apple, they all have midweek, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday expiration options, exacerbating this issue. Okay? But if the market turns, we will be ready. But right now, we are climbing the wall of worry. We are climbing and in the biggest hated bull market in history. Maybe not the greatest, but it is one of the biggest. Okay, so let's go into silver. Another most hated precious metals. Everybody's sleeping on this. We broke out from this downtrend area. We found support at the 80 MA. We basically found support right at the 20 SMA, right? We're just right on it. We have positive divergences going on the RSI. We have MACD beginning to curl up higher, right? We got all of those going for us. And the MACD histogram obviously is moving higher. Okay, and so basically the commodity channel index, we're still bullish, folks, and we just need to break above this area. Silver, once breaking out, and we'll go a little bit more granular in a bit. If silver breaks above 82, and it stays above there on a daily basis, we're going to retest that 121 set in January, okay? All of that was done on the manipulation of COMEX, okay? Basically rigging the margin requirements, basically spoofing. They don't have enough silver in their vaults to meet the delivery demand, and that's coming due in May, folks, all right? So that's that for silver. I'm super bullish on silver. Get it while nobody wants it right now, physicals and otherwise. All right, let's look at gold, which is a more stable counterpart. Finished right on the 80 MA. So silver is beginning to lead gold, isn't it? Silver is above 80 MA. We have the same situation. RSI is divergent, and basically we have this downtrend line that's about to be broken right down to here, right? And in fact, we broke right here. So we have all the space to capture the previous 5,600 all-time highs. And same thing, get them while nobody wants them, okay? Now, all these chip stocks are breaking out, Micron, Intel, okay? And Avagio is quietly building energy. This is like a bull flag, right? Okay, to move higher, okay? And it's one of our top bullish scenarios that we have. Obviously, RSI super bullish. We have MACD going higher. Yeah, volume's lacking, but volume's lacking everywhere, okay? This is why people keep shorting stocks and just get their butts handed to them, okay? So what we are doing is, I believe Avagio is going to start targeting above this resistance level and the top end of this trend line that is happening, okay? So it hasn't really taken advantage of this rally so far. I mean, it's moved higher, but not like Micron did, not like AMD. Okay, Avagio's next, folks. All right, it just, they move on from one to the next. Boom, boom, boom. Nvidia started it. Now it's going to start moving into Avagio, Lam Research. You name it, it's going to go. TSM. Okay. So let's move on into the next one, which is my favorite. Tesla is going to go much, much higher. And in fact, this breakout just got started. We're breaking out right into this area, okay? And so we've been trading this to great effect. And it's going to start targeting that top end of the Bollinger Band. We see the Bollinger Band beginning to curl over and compress, which means a bigger move is coming, okay? Tesla, look at this MACD, ready to cross over, isn't it? Okay. United Healthcare, the stealth AI in healthcare. Okay. It's no longer just a business model on, claims processing and health insurance. Yeah, that's their bread and butter. But United, I know there's a lot of drama behind United with the CEO situation, but United is about to bust out, at least into this area. If we break out of this triangle that failed right down here in the past, okay, we basically have, I don't know if you noticed this, all right, a very nice inverse head and shoulders forming, and we're about to break out from this area. We get above this level, we're going much, much higher, folks. All right, and this is part of our long-term portfolios here, and we have positions in these, and we've been trading United up and down to great effect for the last year and a half. Okay, it's a gift that keeps on giving. We started shorting right about here. Okay, all right, so the other thing is Adobe, beaten down, but so indispensable for media. Okay, and they're going to be partnering up with Claude, another agentic AI system. By the way, if you don't start catching up with the AI cycle for your own business, for your own thing, for traders, if you don't start focusing on learning about AI and how it could help your trading, you're going to get left behind. However, having said that, Adobe is the one that basically got grouped into the software, traditional software. Okay. However, this is a buying opportunity. Okay. Premiere Pro, Photoshop is still indispensable for a lot of the things. Okay. And it's not going away. And these are at valuation level that is very, very attractive. And you can see the divergence is forming. This is one of our top bullish holdings, even though it's bearish right now. You get them when it's bearish so that you position for the bullish movements. Okay. So, and then I want to talk about our trusty XRP. And we'll go over Bitcoin a little bit. Okay. So we have XRP. We're just basically, this is the daily chart. We're just chopped in this range right here. Look at all these, like just levels, resistance and support levels. If we break out above here, we're seriously going to fly. And this is the inflection point, $1.77. If we get up there, and this is the final test. If we get above 233 and then start getting over all-time highs at 366, XRP can move very, very quickly. Also, XRP is quietly setting up an inverse head and shoulders formation. I don't know if you see it, but on the daily, get in while it's $1, not when it's 1,000 years from now or days from now, months from now. I don't know when it's going to happen. Let's look at Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin has been leading the way. First Bitcoin, then altcoins, right? So Bitcoin is basically moving higher right into this area. We just need to break out above here and at 101, and it's seriously going to start challenging the 126 level that we've had. Okay, enough on the cryptos. Let's go over some of the macroeconomic stuff. Okay, so the macros look fantastic. Obviously, we're at all-time highs on the ES, all-time highs on the NQ. Okay, Bitcoin, we hit the highs of this month, and we pulled back a little bit, but we're moving higher on Bitcoin. It's all signaling a changes in monetary system. Okay, here's SPX. This is the one you need to be following, the granddaddy of them all. Okay, ES and SPY are derivatives right here. SPY right here. Okay, SPY has been moving higher just like we said it would. Okay, QQQ moving higher. The things that you want to pay attention to, a lot of people were saying, oh my gosh, gold, oil is going to be at $300. No, it's not really going to happen that way, is it? Right? Oil's pulling back. Iran is just a distraction, folks. Okay, dollar below the inflection point at 97.995, raised to zero. Okay, they're going to hyperinflate the debt away and then bring in the digital currency based money system backed by gold and silver. How many times do I need to say that? Okay, and 10-year yield is beginning to come off the top, but who are we kidding? Okay, banks are in trouble. Okay, unless this thing can break below 42.26 and start targeting the 35 level. Okay, banks are going to be continuously in trouble, and henceforth a new monetary system that is coming. Okay, VIX. Okay, for those of you that are looking at this, if we were going to have some critical moments as the market goes higher, watch the VIX moving higher. It has not done that. Even when we were on Thursday, when the market started pulling back and everybody's gone, oh my God, here it is. Here's the start of the fall and the crash. Buy puts, go short, blah, 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 right? VIX was not complying. Okay, that was a sign, and you need to be watching VIX and understand how that impacts your overall trading. All right, so let's get out of that. So let's go back to my conclusion. And the conclusion is we need to be looking at the gamma, right? The great reset is coming, folks. And here's the gamma that we're looking at for next week. Here's the expiration, May 15th. This is the close on Friday. All of them are like that, right? Okay. This is, if a lot of you guys are asking, I use a platform called Quant Data, and then I have my own filters and algorithms set into it. Okay, so basically, what you have is, this is that blue line indicates where we closed at 7,400. Remember, this is SPX, not ES. On the ES, you need to add between 30 to 55 points, and that's usually the ballpark range. So that's why I have that SPX level there, so that I can correlate it. It fluctuates 29 points to about 30 points to 55 points differential between SPX and ES. ES is much higher. Okay. SPX is targeting 7,500 on the gamma exposure. Does it always have to hit there? No. But it helps us to trade where the dealers are positioned, the big boys, not you, not some guy or hedge fund from Bank of America being said. This is a conglomeration of where all the dealers are positioned, and usually it acts as a magnet and moves higher. Okay, and we've been using this to great effect. When we look at the net call to put drifts, no matter how people say they're bearish, the dealers are saying otherwise. We have these green line is calls, and these are and the red lines are put premiums. Granted, we have the volume. It's just declining on it. When this declines, there's a lot of bearishness, hedging going on. However, those shorts are the ones that are becoming squeezed much, much higher. One way to look at it is this volatility drift. And when this is from Friday, that purple line right here is basically the most valuable contract. Okay. And then, of course, we have this type of an area right here. We closed right at 73.95, or on the ES it was 74.20.5. Here's the funny thing though, on Friday we never hit these massive levels all the way up to 74.25, 74.35. You add 50 points, let's say we just add 30 points, the level should be that we should be potentially targeting, barring any type of headline risk, is 74.65, right, to 75.10. Okay, these will carry over. Look at all of these bullish hedging. Okay, see that little gap right here? That's probably where it's going to go and stall out and then pull back and then see what happens. But here's Tuesday, here's Wednesday. I mean, look at all of these stacked positive gamma exposure. Okay, I mean, here's May 14th. Again, there's these little, what we call black holes, right? Right into there. I mean, that's probably where it's going to hit and reverse potentially on Thursday. And then on Friday, of course, we're running into monthly options expiration on Friday again. There's a black hole. Where is that? Right near that 74.75. Another way to look at it is the interval map, which is fantastic. Here's the current SPX pricing. Hit this wall on Friday. Okay, but for May 15th, most valuable contract as of close of Friday is 7,500 or 75.30 to 75.55 on the ES. This is the problem, is that you cannot be trading with price to volume action. If you want to learn more about this stuff, well, you gotta, maybe consider joining my group. Okay. All right. So in the end, reset is coming on the banking system and the monetary system. We are climbing the wall of worry. We hit 74.20 on ES and 738 on SPY. We're going to go higher based on what I just showed you. Iran war is just a distraction. Hantavirus is designed to scare you. It's the deep state panicking and trying to get everybody in line. Okay? Don't be fooled. Okay? You go where the money is. You go where, look at what they're doing. Okay? Okay, now what they say. Monetary system reset is happening, or it's just a distraction. Hantavirus is just a distraction. So is the Iran situation really over, or a reset for continued hostilities? Well, it's going to continue. Watch the silver and gold. Get them while they're low and nobody wants them. Cryptos are moving higher. Buy them when they're cheap. Markets climbing the wall of worry. Don't worry about the war, hantavirus, or anything else that's going on. Okay, those are distractions while they position to reset the money system. We're watching Tesla. We're super bullish on Tesla. Of course, Avagio. We talked about United. Adobe is that bottom recovery play. Okay, we have Tesla again. Typo, but I'm that bullish on Tesla. AutoZone, again, beaten down. Okay, but still strong, and I believe this is one of those that are going to be coming alive into the options expiration on Friday. By the way, Friday is monthly options expirations where crazy volatility is coming, and we love volatility. We'll follow the gamma. MicroStrategy, right? Palantir, okay? Stocks. Do not get too bearish. We're climbing the wall of worry, okay? You can scalp, but you can't go in there and basically say, oh, because McClellan looks this way and we broke the upper trend line, so it should be returning. Oh, I'm going to go on a revenge trading because I'm going to put my mouth where my money is and then just make a stand. You're going to get crushed, okay? Follow the money, folks. All right. Thank you for following me at galaxy.market. Follow me at x.com and like, share, and above all, comment good and bad and subscribe, okay, to my YouTube channel. And if you want to work with me, you have to email me at coachbrandon@protonmail.com. You want to learn about joining my group. We have many tiers. We have mentorship programs, which is full right now. But we have, the Essentials group, $49 a month. You get the watch list, chart analysis, daily market commentary like this one on a daily basis. Okay. What's there not to like? No, we don't have free trials. We do, but I think it'll be worth your while. But anyways, be careful out there. We're climbing the wall of worry. Don't listen to the mainstream media. Think for yourself. Don't think with your primitive brain. And let's get some alpha. Bye-bye.